Hello everyone, this is Jeff Ogden with Find New Customers. We have a great guest on the show today. I'm really excited to be here. A content marketing expert and the CEO of Avitage, Jim Burns. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Jeff. Great to be with you.
Great, thanks. What we really wanted to discuss in our meeting today, Jim, is video. And I think in content marketing, video is becoming more important than ever. And I think I'd love to get your expertise. And let's start off by asking just the simplest question of all, Jim. What is video?
Well, it's actually a great question because we take it for granted. I think there's great power in sort of looking inside the question. And for me, it is primarily a way to deliver an audio message with a visual component, and the visual helps to keep people's attention. Ideally, the visual can help illustrate the message we're trying to deliver in the audio. But I think of it fundamentally and most powerfully as the ability to use audio to explain complex and important messages, and we know that many of us can hear with visual reinforcement better than we can read. Could I give you an example?
Please do, Jim.
So we've all heard the expression, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, fine, here's a picture. How clear is it in terms of any message that I might intend? Let me explain. Think of video. I want to make the distinction between different types of video. So when you ask what is video, it can fit into different areas, different categories. So if you look at the left side going up, it's the cost element. Cost might be financial, but it could also be time and effort. And across the bottom, we have a quality dimension. And the quality is not just production quality, but quality of messaging, quality of the ability to deliver a message. So in the lower left-hand corner, we have PowerPoint, and of course PowerPoint with audio we've all been using for years as webinars. And now, more recently, cameras like the flip camera, low-end digital video cameras have the ability to produce very low-cost video experiences, and I call this basic communication. Now, the user experience is somewhat amateur, but there's tremendous value in that. At the upper right-hand corner, we have more of a traditional video. What most of us associate with video, I call it production quality. We go into a studio, we hire professional videographers, they use big cameras, they do great lighting, they know how to set up the shots, and they spend a ton of time in the editing studio. We tend to end up with high production quality products, but the time, the cost, and the effort means we're not going to do this very often. And for most companies, they're lucky to get 1, 2, or even 3 videos produced a year. And so this content, when you're spending this kind of money, tends to be more of a mass communication and often becomes advertising, particularly as we're relying on third parties to put it together. So I see a huge gap. I'm calling it the possibility gap for video in the middle. And the objective of that video content is really to operate like content does for us today, which is I need to educate my customer. I need to tell stories. And so I need a stronger visual component than the talking head that you and I have here going today. So we're engaging in a basic communication using video. We could produce a high production quality, but there's a huge opportunity in the middle.
That's interesting, Jim, because I certainly see this too. You know, anyone can just record with a webcam and upload a YouTube video, or you can go out and hire professionals and do something that's very expensive. There is a huge gap in the middle. Now, one thing I've heard you talk about in the past is that video content, the video is actually just content, and so it needs to play by content rules. What do you mean by that, Jim?
Well, and I can't help but think of that really phenomenal book by Ann Handley and C.C. Chapman, Content Rules. And really what the whole content marketing effort are laying out are a set of new requirements that middle category serves to address, which is first and foremost, the content must be relevant to our viewers. And of course, relevance is a factor of who are we speaking with? What's their role? What's their specific interest? Where are they in the buying process? And more with the marketing efforts of nurturing through marketing automation, we need to educate customers through our content. No longer is that the job necessarily of the salesperson primarily. We're using content to do that. And so video then needs to be able to meet those criteria. Now, how would you have videos be created to be specific to 3 or 4 different buyer roles that you sell to 5 or 6 primary issues that your product or services might address, to 4 or 5 buying stages, maybe tailored to 3 or 4 industries that you are selling into. Accomplishing that with the traditional production technologies and approach is really challenging. You don't see it done very often at all, and that's really what I'm talking about, is the possibility, the requirements of meeting content rules introduces new challenges. How do you get that done?
Very interesting, Jim. I agree with you that book by Ann Handley and C.C. Chapman, Content Rules, talking about talking human and things being relevant. And as you point out, relevance is defined by the recipient, not us. Yeah, so it's important that we do that. Well, Jim, this has been a very interesting discussion on what content is and how to look at content. In our next session, we're going to talk about how to use video as content. So I want to thank you, Jim, for talking with me this morning. It's been a very interesting discussion.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to be with you.